The Gray Man is a 2022 American action thriller film directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. The movie begins in a state prison in Florida where a CIA officer named Donald Fitzroy is interrogating a murderer named Cortland Gentry. Donald tells him his punishment could go very long and that if he works for him, he can get him out of prison. As he agrees with him, Donald informs him about the newly launched CIA program Sierra and that Gentry will be called Sierra 6. The movie fast forwards to 18 years to Bangkok country where a big celebration is going on. Sierra 6 is also sitting among other people and is enjoying the festival. A lady named Danny Miranda walks over to him. She also works for the CIA and she gives him a plastic gun with which he opens a door and takes a heavy gun from the room. After that, he goes to his place from where he plans his next target. The mission is headed by the chief named Carmichael. He informs Sierra 6 that his next target is a man who is leaking national information to a foreign country. He tells him that his next task is to kill that man. He also tells him to beware of his heavy security. The scene shifts to the target who is a man named Callan Mulvey and he is celebrating an event at his place. Sierra 6 is all set at a high point with his sniper and is aiming at his target. However, due to the wandering people at the party, he could not aim at his target. He then goes down to the party and he starts fighting his men. Nevertheless, while he fighting his men, Mulvey flees from there. He is called with the name Dinning Carr in the movie. Sierra 6 then runs after him and they again fight intensively. After the fight, the man tells 6 that he also worked for the CIA and that his name was Sierra 4. He says the reason why the CIA wants to kill him is because he knows their secret. He then gives a pendant to 6 and says all the people want to get it. After that, he passed away there. In the meantime, Miranda arrives there and she sends a photo of Mulvey to Carmichael. The CIA men arrive and they search his body but they don't get that pendant. He then makes a phone call to 6 and says if he got anything from 4 but he lies to him. The pendant contains a pen drive which is full of some photos. Meanwhile, Miranda calls him and tells him he should get ready as the CIA team is about to pick them up. He refuses to go with them. He then phones Donald and tells him everything. He tells 6 that he will get him out of Bangkok soon. Carmichael then talks to a CIA officer named Suzanne Brewer. She rebukes him saying that is why he sent 6 on this mission. He tells her he has called another gangster who will capture 6 because they have no other way. On the other hand, the gangster whose name is Lloyd Hansen. He is torturing a man. He runs a private agency and he is involved in illicit tasks. Carmichael phones him saying he has to execute Sierra 6 and get a very important thing from him to us. Carmichael then tells Suzanne to go to him although she is reluctant. On the other side, 6 arrives at a place where some security guards and a plan are standing. He gets in the plan because Donald has sent it for him. Carmichael phones Miranda saying that he has to get on another plan. On the contrary, Hansen meets Donald and asks him about the whereabouts of 6. He refuses to tell him anything. Hansen then threatens him and shows him a photo of his niece whom they have kidnapped. He threatens to kill her if he does not tell him about the whereabouts of 6. Donald then phones his men who are taking 6 in the plan and he tells them to kill 6. However, 6 is already preparing for the fight and before they get anything, he starts fighting them. During the fight, bullets hit the interior of the plane which causes holes in it. The plane starts to crash and everyone jumps off. 6 snatches the parachute from a man and lands safely. He then picks up the mobile phone of the man and attends the call. It is Donald on the other hand and he tells him that he killed all of his people. Then Hansen talks to him and says he needs that pen drive that he got from 4, but he denies him any pen drive. After that, Hansen sends the most dangerous people to kill 6. Donald warns him to be cautious while going after 6 as he is a dangerous man too. The movie flashes back to 2 years and Donald and 6 are together. Donald tells him that he is going abroad and that his niece is alone in his house in Hong Kong. He says him to Hong Kong and looks after his niece. He reaches Hong Kong and begins to live with Donald's niece named Claire. One night, she faints and 6 rushes her to the hospital. There, the doctors say her condition is critical because she has recently undergone an operation surgery. Not long after, he takes her back home. Some days later, one night some men break into the house but 6 beats them all. Claire sees him fighting and she realizes how dangerous person 6 is. Later, 6 travels to Vienna and he calls on a man named Sousa who documents fake passports. He tells him that he will give him a lot of money if he does a task for him. 6 tells him to find the whereabouts of Donald. After that, 6 asks him to document a fake passport and he tells him to stand before the camera for a photograph. As 6 stands on a point, he suddenly falls into the basement as the roof opens. Sousa is aware of 6 and that some infamous people are after him. He then phones Hansen that he has trapped 6 in his house. On the other hand, Miranda has arrived in Berlin and Carmichael accuses her of being involved with 6. She then tells him that Sarah's mission involves different dangerous killers who go to any extent to achieve their targets. After that, she goes away. On the other hand, Hansen along with his men has arrived in Vienna. He goes to Sousa's place where Six is trapped in a basement room. Sousa demands money in exchange for Six, but Hansen shoots dead instead. Six in the basement is already prepared and he explodes an explosive. He then kills all the men one by one and he eventually confronts Hansen. He takes him at gunpoint and asks him where the pen drive is. Six still denies him that. Suddenly, he puts a grenade there and both depart. Miranda appears there when Hansen is aiming at Six outside. She administers an anesthetic injection to him and she tells Six to go with him, but he refuses. She then makes him unconscious as well and puts him in the rear of her car. The scene shifts to Croatia where Hansen meets Suzanne, who is angry at him. On the other hand, Miranda asks Six to give her that pen drive, but he says he sent it to Prague. On the other side, Claire and Donald meet with each other. Hansen sees in the CCTV footage that Six transferred the drive to Prague. Hansen then tortures Donald to tell him where the drive is in Prague. Six and Miranda reach Prague and they meet a black lady named Margaret. She tells them the drive safely and that she is about to die soon due to the cancer. She further tells them that the drive contains evidence of Carmichael's illegal acts. She says Carmichael is involved in all the illegal acts in the world. While they are talking inside, Hansen's men surround Margaret's house. Suddenly, the house is showered with bullets. They let Miranda escape amidst heavy firing. Margaret then sends Six to the basement and she stays there. As Hansen's men enter the house, she explodes an explosive in her hand, causing her and Hansen's men death. Later, when Six comes out of the basement, the police arrest him. As he tries to escape, the police arrest him and he is tied in a park. Six then discovers that soon Hansen's people are coming there to kill him. Soon, Hansen's men arrive there and they start firing on civilians and the police officials. Six flees from there and the men run after him, creating a terrifying scene. Miranda also appears there in her car and Six is busy killing the men one by one. He then explodes a large explosion and he confronts Miranda. Hansen then tells Suzanne that he will call his loyal friend to execute Six. Miranda and Six go to a hospital to trace the peacemaker of Claire. They then learn that Claire is in Croatia. Suddenly, Lone Wolf, Hansen's loyal friend, attacks Six. They then fight him, but Wolf seems unbeatable. He then grabs the pendant from Six and runs outside. The police try to arrest him on the road, but he flees from there. After a little while, when they go to a safe place, Six tells her that his father was very violent and often beat his younger brother. He says one day his father was very angry and that he would not spare his brother's life. He says he shot dead his father before he could do anything to his brother. After that, he was imprisoned for that crime. Wolf meets Hansen and hands him over the drive. Six and Miranda also go to the place where Wolf and Hansen are present. Hansen now decides to kill everyone including Claire. This thing makes Wolf uncomfortable. In the meantime, Six and Miranda arrive there and they start attacking the place. Donald and Claire hide in a room. Then suddenly, Six enters the room and Donald says he knew Six would come to their help. Six take them out of the building, whereas Miranda is attacking the place from all sides. While Six, Donald, and Claire are on the rooftop, a bullet hits Donald. He then tells Six to take his niece away from this place. Six and Claire jump into the water. As Hansen comes to the injured Donald, who has a grenade in his hand, he explodes it, causing a huge explosion. Wolf and Miranda fight and he pushes her down the rooftop. He then hands her the drive and says he does not want to work with Hansen. He then leaves. On the other hand, Hansen attacks Six and they both fight. Meanwhile, Claire attacks Hansen, but he grabs her instead and takes her away. But Six is following them, and when he goes after them, Miranda tells him Hansen is her target and that she will shoot him. But he stops her from doing so. Then Hansen, who is grabbing Claire, and Six are standing face to face. He then leaves her and runs toward Six. After Miranda takes her away from there, a fight ensues between Six and Hansen. The fight goes on for a long time. Before Six could execute Hansen, Suzanne appears there and shoots Hansen in the chest, and Six in the foot. She then tells Six that he must go to prison for the time being, but she will get him out soon. Later, the police arrest both Miranda and Six. Suzanne goes away after acquiring the drive. Later, Suzanne, Carmichael, and Miranda attend a CIA meeting. However, Carmichael's illegal acts are still covered. Miranda also does not reveal anything because she wants to keep Claire safe. Afterward, Suzanne and Carmichael go to the hospital where Six is hospitalized. As they enter the hospital, they find that Six has already fled. Elsewhere, Claire is kept hostage by the CIA. Six visits her and drives her away in a vehicle. The movie ends there.